What's happening, people? We are live. Everyone's a pundit, episode 67. And you know what? I'm feeling a bit deflated right now. I'm a little bit, but the show must go on. And I got some great guests with me today to bring you that great energy, that great vibe, and we're gonna have a good show today, man. So let me introduce my guests. We've got a new person on today. It's an honor and a pleasure to have her on. Please introduce yourself, please, Rach.
Oh, hi. I am a Manchester United fan. People will know me as the Devil's Avocado on Twitter, and you'll find me on the First 11. I'm fairly new to the YouTube scene, so you might not know me that well at the moment, but hopefully that will change soon. And thank you for having me on.
You're welcome, and there's no hopefully about it. People will definitely get to know who you are. We've been vibing on Twitter for a while, and I've just come to realize that she really does know her football, man. Do you know what I mean? So I got a lot of respect for her. And then we've also got another female guest on today as well. Lambs, please introduce yourself as well, please.
Hey, so I'm Lambs. You'll probably have seen me here, there, and about on YouTube. I'm on GNA TV. I host a lady show there. I'm on Midnight Vibe show on the Football Terrace. Maybe you've seen me on a gal stream sometimes, monster streams. I'm just basically here, there, and everywhere. So love my little community. Love interacting, meeting all you wonderful rival fans, and yeah.
Brilliant. And you know what? These girls are out here working, boy. I swear, Rach, you're on the Midnight Vibes later as well, right?
Yeah. First time I'm going to be on there. Should be fun.
Yeah, they're putting in that work, boy.
On tonight's episode, but good luck. I'll be watching. I'll be on the ones on Wednesdays usually.
Yeah, that's when I met Lambs on the Midnight Vibes as well. So, yeah, big up the Football Terrace, big up KG and that. And yes, last but not least, please introduce yourself, Mr. P.
Yes, what's happening, people? It's Patrick Tyrant, aka Young Swaggy Daniels. When you see the T, you see the P. When you see the P, you know, it represents T. Let's go.
Let's go, people. Oh, anyway, so I forgot my things over there, so we're just gonna freestyle. We had some interesting results, man, this weekend. So we had a mixture of Premier League games and a mixture of FA Cup games. So I think on Friday there was Leeds playing, and Leeds won. And you know, they march on, they keep getting these wins, beating Fulham, and then Saturday came and Newcastle, boy, they're getting dragged deeper into that relegation fight. They lost 3-0 away to Brighton.
Pray
and
for
then
Kendall.
Yeah.
That's so bad for Kendall.
Newcastle in trouble, man. They're in big trouble. And I was saying,
I think so, because Fulham play better ball than them.
Yeah, they do. And obviously,
I think Fulham will make it, you know.
Yeah,
I hope they do. I like watching Fulham play football.
Yeah,
They're pretty good.
Newcastle deserve to get relegated on the way they've been playing over the last couple of months. And I hate to say that because we know a lot of Geordies, don't we, Semps?
We do, boy. And we know they love their football, but it's not looking good for them, man.
No, it isn't.
But FA Cup, breeze for Southampton. They beat Bournemouth 3-0, and Everton, you know, they didn't really lay a fist on Man City. Man City cruised to a 2-0 victory, sorry. And then we came to Sunday, and we got entertained earlier, boy. West Ham 3, Arsenal 3. We're definitely going to discuss that game. That was a good, entertaining game. And then we came to Manchester United and Leicester, and Manchester United got dumped out of the FA Cup. We got schooled, we got buoyed off. And we're going to discuss that game. And then Spurs played Villa and beat them 2-0. So you know what? It's been an interesting day. There was another FA Cup game. Yeah, there wasn't there? Nearly forgot about you, Lambs. That game there was, again, it was just cruise control for Chelsea, man. Cruise control. But where I want to start today, big up everybody watching as well. Thank you all for tuning in. Where I want to start today is with United. because everybody's heard my views on United. There's that those that watch me regular, they will know my views on everything. But we've got somebody new today, and I wanted to get your thoughts today, Rach, on Manchester United, the setup, and where it went wrong for us today, because we got outplayed today by Leicester. You know, we've seen it before where we don't have control of the football and we don't create chances, and it was exactly that today. Where do you think it went wrong?
Oh, it was everything. Team selection was. Do you know what I said to you earlier? I thought we were playing the diamond.
Yeah, you did.
And it made more sense so that we could sort of, overload the midfield and try and win the midfield battle. The fact that we played Matic and Fred in double pivot and then put Pogba on the left was a joke. We lost the midfield battle just because of that team selection. And yeah, the players were awful. There was no creativity. The movement from our front three was a joke as well. I know Pogba came centrally quite a bit to try and get on the ball, and he dropped deeper. But Martial was terrible today. He didn't, like, every time the ball came towards him, he wasn't running towards the ball. He just stood there and kept getting beaten constantly. Johnny Evans had the easiest game of his life. Honestly, it was horrendous. And then, like, Fred, like, people know my feelings on Fred. I think he's a horrendous football player. I really do. I think he's awful. He has this game every now and then where he wins everything, and then people are like, "Oh, look how good Fred is! See, I told you." And then he has games like this over and over again. I can't stand our midfielders. I can't deal with them. They make me. They anger me. And then our centre back partnership's a joke as well. And then you've got Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who doesn't do well in build-up play. He doesn't have much going forward. So it shouldn't really surprise me, but every time I see it, it just makes me ill, to be honest with you. Horrendous. And Ollie's subs, what a joke that was.
Yeah, that was a bit of madness.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, no, I thought the subs were good. I didn't catch the whole game, don't get me wrong, but you brought on Bruno, you brought on Cavani. I can't remember.
Fred played 80 minutes. Fred played 80 minutes. That is all there is to it. I am not if you're going to bring on midfielders and then leave on Fred, there is no point. Absolutely no point.
Maybe he was your like CDM, innit? He was your build up play breaker kind of thing. So I get why he left him on. He might not.
Well, Matic was playing that role in the first half.
Yeah,
and Matic, they were all bad, and I thought that Fred should have come off at half time. Personally, I thought he was horrendous in the first.
Should have got the youth team to come on at half time. Honestly, they would have done a better job than what we saw today. They were all bad.
Yeah, it was a joke, man, and the substitutions. It was the fact that they just all came on at the same time. It was like, you just throw on 4 bodies, Pat, and that to me, 4 subs all at once. It just didn't make sense just at that time. And then, like what Rachel's saying, you left on Fred, who was having a really, really poor game. But the thing is though, everyone was having a poor game today. But how often do we see this, Lambs, where we look at Man United and we in the fan base, we will look at certain players that we don't like. Rachel's already said she doesn't like the centre-back partnership. I don't either. We don't like our central midfielders. So we know that there's problems within the squad. But you as an outsider looking in, what do you think about Manchester United when you look at us? Do you believe that we're playing to our full potential or playing to the potential of the players?
Absolutely not. And I've said this on multiple occasions, and I do kind of have to watch my tongue when I'm speaking around Manchester United fans, because you don't want to offend them too much. They're a bit sensitive as well, because
no. We're not I'm not that kind of person. I do it every day.
Talk your talk, man.
One question that I always basically ask is what do you guys think that you need come the summer transfer window? What do you think? What players do you think that you need to get in what positions to strengthen your squad to take you guys to that next level? And yeah, people kind of list the obvious, and then I'll say, do you not think you don't need any central defensive midfielders? No, Fred and McTominay, they're cool, they're great. We can rotate them around with Pogba. Do you think Pogba's staying around with crap like that surrounding him? No, you need to.
United fans say that they can't be. Surely they don't. They don't. They
Like,
don't
honestly,
exist.
Well,
I
Lambs has spoken to me about it. We've used
I
to know
cannot
my
believe
view.
how many United fans that actually like meet that keep on holding this torch for Fred. And I keep saying he's not good enough. McTominay, he's not good enough. There's really I can name about maybe 5 or 6 players in that Man United team that are good enough to be in that Man United team. Everybody else, I'm sorry,
Many.
is not good enough. And the manager is not good enough. And people keep saying, oh, Ollie, this, that, and the other. Oh, you know, he'll bail himself out of trouble. But to bail yourself out of trouble is not enough. You can't just lose at critical points, but then go on these run of games to get yourself to a healthy 2nd or 3rd position. That's not Man United's ambitions. That's not what Manchester United is about. And the fact of the matter is, even though you guys have been on a bit of a decline, up and down, it's been a bit haywire since Sir Alex Ferguson left. Even though you haven't won the Premier League, you're still known for being that team that consistently wins something, be it a cup from like a tournament competition. And realistically, if you think about it, the last manager who won you a trophy was Jose Mourinho. And Ollie's been here, 2 seasons now? 4 semi-finals. You've gone out of 5 cup competitions under Ollie. It's not good enough. This guy, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the mentality block. Maybe it's a similar situation to what Pep has with Manchester City, and failing to progress past the quarterfinals of the Champions League. Maybe it's a similar thing, but it's a mentality thing. And Ollie is just not that guy. He doesn't have the credentials. It's just not that guy. I'm sorry.
I hear you, man. And there's a question that I'm gonna pose to Rach afterwards. But Pat, what do you think with regards to United? When you hear Lambs talk about United players being poor, the manager being poor, do you echo what she thinks as an outsider?
It's a weird one because I agree and I disagree. Not with Lambs, but the reason why I say I disagree is because they're second. You lot are second in the league, and as well as I say, as shaky, not as shaky, but as patchy as your performance is, that's probably the best word, patchy. Because there's certain games where you're awful, but then you'll somehow have a good 15 or 20 minutes and you already like 2 or 3 goals up, or you pull back. There was a time when you was conceding first in every game, but you were still, somehow winning games. So that showed a mentality that you could come back and, do what you need to do. So as bad as it might be, you are second and you're still in the Europa League. So it could still be a good season. So you've got to be...
But Patrick, look at the point difference between second and...
I know. But second is... I'm not trying to say that second is something to celebrate, but second is still second, if you get what I mean.
Because Mourinho got second, but look at the point difference.
Yeah, exactly. And it was the same kind of thing. When Mourinho got in second, there was a big points gap as well, wasn't there? And he got chastised for that. So it's it's really difficult because Ollie isn't a proven manager. He's not a big name manager. He doesn't come with a CV. People are very lenient and soft on him. And he's almost looked at like he's a rookie or a youngster, but he's not. He's he's old. He's been around the block.
10 years plus in the game, man, of management.
It's a strange one, man. It's like a fraternity when it comes to the top level pundits and the Skies and the BT Sports, and they don't really want to get onto him because they're all boys, they're all pally. Rio doesn't really get onto him. Gary doesn't get onto him. So it's kind of like, and obviously what these guys say is what echoes on what filters down. So kind of no one doesn't really get onto Ollie the way they should do. I know the United fans do on Twitter, trust me, but when you talk about the media and the powers that be, they're all too nice about him. Do you get what I mean? Because
it's because he's a club legend, isn't it?
That's what I'm saying.
Somebody said this to me on Twitter today. Shout out Nick Christophe. He's an Arsenal fan, but he said, I actually don't know how you're second in the league. Just shows how poor the standard has been this season in the Prem. And I had to reply to him and say, I can't argue with you. Like, I'm not going to come back to you and talk about no. Like, the reality of the situation is, this is the point I try to make to people, is we're the best of a bad bunch. Do you know what I'm saying? Last season, we finished third, but again, the season, everyone was poor around us. You know what I'm saying? Leicester more or less, well, not more or less, they did bottle it. They should never have dropped out of the top 4. And we were battling with Chelsea. Chelsea, we should never even have finished above Chelsea. And Spurs didn't get in there. Arsenal, obviously, mid-table team now, but we'll get on to that later on. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yes, people will try and say second and a trophy is progress under Oli, but the standard has been poor.
Let me spin it this way. If you lot win the Europa, which you're more than capable of, now that you've seen the draw and the running, and you finish in the top 4, is that not a good season?
On paper, it is. Like, you can only do what you can do in it. You can only beat what's in front of you, sort of thing. But for me personally, I would still want Oli gone. And I would have to accept the fact that, okay, he's earned the right to take us forward, but I would want him gone because in my humble opinion, for us to get to the next level, we need an elite coach, and he's not an elite coach. But there's something that brings me on to a point that I wanted to ask Rach, because big up Rach as well, because she done a breakdown of Man United's tactics and stuff like that. And look, I think, Rach, when Man United fans say that Oli doesn't have tactics, I don't necessarily think that we are saying that he must have tactics. He's bloody a manager of Manchester United. They must be working with some sort of tactics. You know, they say even in Sunday League we work towards tactics. But I think what we talk about is that our patterns of play is not the way it should be for the team that we are and the players that we have. Now, I wanted to ask you about the fact that when we're trying to play out from the back, in my opinion, you can see the lack of coaching and how amateurish that we look at it. We get pressed by teams. They know to put us under pressure when we're playing out from the back, and we give goals away. We get caught up. But then on the flip side, at the other end of the pitch, teams find it so easy to play out from the back against us because we don't press in zones. We don't press as a team. We don't press as a unit. So what is your thoughts on that?
So with patterns of play, which I said in the video, a lot of the patterns of play you find for different formations are actually standard for those formations. So for me, I agree. Oli is an issue. I said it before. I am Oli out as well. But what I don't like is this false narrative that a lot of popular YouTubers have used and said that we don't have patterns of play, and they sort of deflect blame from the players. For me, the players are an issue, and the manager is an issue, and the coach is an issue. This idea that it's just one thing is nonsense, because some of our players are quite frankly not good enough, and a lot of our players are overrated. Now, I think we have one world-class player in our squad, and that's Paul Pogba. I think Bruno Fernandes is a very, very good football player, and he could become a world-class player. He's not there yet, in my opinion. Some people disagree, don't really care. But the thing is, you look up, we don't have a centre-back partnership. We don't have a right side of our of the pitch. We don't have a right winger. We don't have good enough central midfielders. Our strikers, one of them is a good box like poacher in the box, and one of them is fantastic with his link-up play, but not clinical in the box. So I don't know why people expect us to play this fantastic football when half our team is dead. Like, I don't know what people expect from our team. I don't get it, because I look at our team and I don't see what people see where they think that we should have a title challenge against Manchester City. Have you seen their squad? Like, they have 2 players for each position apart from left back and striker. We have 1 player for each position, and some players shouldn't even be playing. So I don't know how, like, the fact that we're second, no offense to the rest of the teams, but it's a disgrace on all of them. It really is. Like, they're not good enough. And I don't know. I just feel like people tend to just want to blame one thing or the other. For me, everything is an issue from top to bottom at Manchester United is a joke. So I don't blame just Oli, and I don't just blame the players. It's all of them for me.
I hear that, Rach, but then don't you think that you see teams like Brighton, for example? Now, I may be using a bad example because Brighton are fighting relegation as well, but you can see them with their lesser players put on a better brand of football. Leeds, for example, Leeds have got lesser players, but they can play a better brand of football. They can still control football games. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Manchester United, I always say, for counter-attacking football, we got that on lock. So for teams that give us space in behind, they try and attack us, they're naive. I was confident that we'll beat Real Sociedad because I believe that they will play into our hands, and they did exactly that. But then there's other teams, like I said last week when we played West Ham, that I actually agreed with the way Moyes set up, because generally that's what would get teams points. You know what I'm saying? Sheffield United did that.
Yeah.
That's what for me is like. I know our players aren't the greatest, but they're better than what we're seeing on a regular basis. They're better than what we saw today.
Agree.
You disagree?
So for me, like, I don't know, I'm very fussy with midfielders. Like the midfield is my favorite part of the football pitch. And for me, if you're a good midfielder, you have to be able to do a bit of everything. And then there's a certain attribute that you're excellent at. So So as a midfielder, you should be able to pass the ball. You should be able to carry. You should be able to read the game fairly well. And our midfielders don't do that. Like the only one that can do all those things is Paul Pogba. The rest of them can barely pass. You saw what Fred did today. This is not a one-off game with Fred. This happens on a regular basis. McTominay has the same kind of games as well. Matic has the same kind of games as well. So if your players can't pass a ball, I don't know how you expect them to play good football. I get the whole Brighton thing, but I tell you something, Brighton's players can pass a ball.
Yeah.
Like McTominay and Fred can simply just win the ball back. And then as soon as they win it, they give it away again.
They give it away.
So,
okay,
I get it. I hear what you're saying with the whole Leeds. I think Leeds are great offensively, but they sacrifice their defense for it. That's why they lose games as well as they win them. We can't do that. If we want to get to the top of the Premier League, you have to be able to balance the two. And we don't have the players to balance it. That's why we struggle.
Yeah, no. So final question before we move on, Rach. Would you say then that if we had better players, because I see your comment to Aaron today about Haaland, which is something I always say, Dash in the comments will know, I say this to him all of the time. Haaland walking into this team will just end up like Lukaku, would end up like Falcao, he would end up like all of those strikers that's come and just died at Manchester United because we don't create chances. But do you believe then that if we then got better midfielders and better players around, that Ollie could take us forward?
What, to win a Premier League?
Yeah.
Hell no. No. I don't think he's a manager that's going to win us the big trophies. I don't care if Ollie gets sacked tomorrow or if he gets sacked like in the summer. I don't care about that. For me, like as a United fan, I want what's the best in class everywhere. So if it means us getting a new manager who's going to be better, I'm happy with that. I don't care about. I'm not a sentimental person when it comes to the manager of Manchester United. I don't care if you're an ex-player. I don't care if you're Thierry Henry. I don't care if you're Patrick Vieira. I don't care. I want the best managers at Manchester United. So do I think he's going to take us to the next level? No, but he's not going anywhere. So I can only hope we'll get better players in the summer because he's not going anywhere.
Fair enough. Fair dues. Big up. Thank you very much, Rach, for all of that. And you know what? It's made me think about things in a little bit differently. So, shout out to you for that. And boy, we just got to win the Europa League now because we're in trouble. But if we look at Chelsea changed their managers like we change our underwear, and they're still successful. Like it's actually a madness that it just keeps rolling. But you know what? You know why that is though, Lambs? Is because Ibrahimovic wants to win trophies, so he's always about this investing. If this manager ain't cutting it, I'm changing it. Are you happy with Tuchel and the way things are going at the moment?
Oh yeah, he's just revolutionized this team. Like when you think about the position that Frank Lampard left us in, when you think about the lack of confidence in the team, when you think about just how deflated the players were, when you think about literally everybody not turning up, bar Mason Mount, everybody just picking up this one person that seems to be, just always wanting to turn up. And the fact that that's the case just shows just how much of a crappy situation that we were in. The fact that people are talking about Tammy Abraham being our top striker, that just goes to show it's not good enough because he's our top striker. We're not scoring a lot of goals. We're not scoring many goals as well. When him coming in, especially coming off that last game that he managed, Premier League game against Leicester, where it was just an abysmal performance. Defensively poor, just shipping in goals left, right, and centre. Even though Mendy, when he first came into the team, got off to a very comfortable start, picked up some clean sheets as well. I think the influence of Thiago Silva in the team had a lot to do with that as well. Helped calm down that defence a little bit because it was very shaky. It was just all over the place before that point as well. And Tuchel coming in, now that Thiago Silva's injured, we don't even really miss him because of the way every single other player has now stepped up into the squad, the way he's rotated the squad so well, bringing players back in that we never thought we'd see again, managing the players well, preserving their fitness, and bearing in mind we have such a packed schedule of games as well. And I've seen improved performances from people as well. Obviously there's been a lot of talk about Ziyech, but the last couple of games not looked too bad, and he got a goal when he come on today, so that'll do his confidence the world of good. I thought he stepped up in the Atletico Madrid game as well. He was one of those players that I was just crying out. I was like, listen, this is your time, because he's another one that we've been really disappointed by. Kai Havertz as well, Timo Werner, and these were two of our big summer signings that a lot of people were heavily critical of, especially in Frank Lampard's system. And I think a lot of that was to do with them being played out of position and him being so stubborn in his formation, the style of play. And since Tuchel's come in, we've just seen the change. I think this back three system is working very well, keeping us defensively solid. But again, we still have the same problems we had even when Lampard was there, in the sense that there's still that lack of clinical edge. We're still not potent enough in front of goals. And even under Tuchel, the pace has increased. We're creating more chances. The midfield, our creative attacking midfielders have stepped up, and that's why there's more chances being created for our strikers. But again, we still have a problem with our strikers not scoring the chances. Timo, obviously, he's a big one. I don't really know if I can defend it at this point. All I know is that he's doing everything right, except for hitting the back of the net. That's what's so frustrating. But I can see us coming, and I think he is one of those strikers that, once Tuchel, he gets the players out that he wants in the summer, he gets the players in that he wants to really perfect and bring the squad together, and then come the start of the next season, he's going to know his best 11. He's going to know his starting 11. Probably will switch back to a back four as well. I think as well. Switch to probably a more attacking style as well. This is a manager who's known for being tactically intelligent, and I think now he's being smart, knowing that it's important to be defensively solid first, and we do have the players, we do have the personnel, the squad depth that, if we make the right substitutions, there could be those moments of brilliance that will get us those goals, those key, those critical goals that will win us games, pick up points and stuff. But so far, I'm impressed, man. He's bringing out the best in everybody.
Wicked. Pat, we've got this comment here. To be fair, Tuchel hasn't been tested yet. Would you agree with that? Would you agree with that, or from Alan?
Like, obviously, even as a Spurs fan, I got to admit when I see something that is, you gotta admit and rate class in it and give people their props. And Tuchel has played. I mean, they played Tottenham, they played Liverpool, they played. I can't remember.
United. They played United as well. They've obviously played Champions League.
Champions League, and I think the clean sheets that they've kept is mental, and that's not by luck. Yeah, of course, in every game you're going to have an element of luck. You always do. You ride it. But to consistently do it,
second best defensive record after Manchester City.
There you go. And you can see the way they line up and they set up. He's brought players back in from the cold and given them a second lease of life. Your Rudigers, your Alonsos, they're looking like brand new signings. Like Lam said, the actual intensity is increased. Kante's getting back into the swing of things. Mason Mount has been good all season, but again, he still looked good in this new system. Timo's looking good. He's dangerous, but he just, for whatever reason,
he's looking better. I'll give him that. He's looking better.
No, I can't say that he hasn't been tested. He has. They played a lot of good teams, but they beat them or they've been comfortable. So, obviously, as a Tottenham fan, I'm hoping that, they slip and they have a blip. But so far, so good. You can only beat the teams in front of you. They've done that. Atletico Madrid was a big test, and I thought you lot would struggle, and you beat them easily. Over the course of those 2 games, it was comfortable. We didn't lay a glove on them. And Simeone is no slouch. That Madrid team is good. So to be fair, they have been tested. There's no way you can say that. It doesn't make sense to say that, in my opinion.
So hopefully that answers your comment there, Alan. Rach, for me, Chelsea was one of my tips to do well this season. It hasn't worked out, but looking at, obviously we know that their board, or the man's upstairs, like to invest. They've now got a manager who's a proven world-class or elite manager, or one of the higher echelons of managers that we've got in world football. Where do you see them going from now to the end of the season and also next season?
Obviously, I think they will finish in the top 4. I think they're favourites. I think they might even finish above us, to be honest with you. But I think the Champions League is kind of difficult. I know a lot of Chelsea fans are on a massive hype with everything that's going on, and they think they're going to win it. But we all know the Champions League is very difficult to win, and anything can happen. It's not always the best team in Europe that actually wins it. Not always, anyway.
Facts.
So we'll have to just see how that goes. No, I know, but I'm saying that it's a tournament that's full of luck. Do you know what I mean? There's a lot of luck involved. I guess the only grateful thing you can have is, Barcelona aren't in it just to, get some refereeing decisions on their side. That always helps, especially against you guys. But no, we'll have to see. I think Tuchel's done a really good job though so far. I think he's organised Chelsea very, very well, and he's playing a formation that makes them defensively secure. But they do have a creativity issue, I think, and obviously there's an issue with their forward line not scoring. But in the summer they'll just rectify it, and it doesn't even matter anymore, and they'll probably do well next season. If they don't, then well, that's something in itself, isn't it?
He'll be sacked.
Yes, and that's one
conveyor belt of managers.
Yeah, that's one thing we can guarantee you, boy. Roman don't play about with his money, and what he wants. And I got to rate him. If we had a Roman, we would be a lot better, RH. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Lambs, just one final on Chelsea then is where do you what's your ambitions now for the rest of the season? What would finish off as a good season for you now from where you are?
Top 4 in trophy, and fact of the matter is we're still in 2 cup competitions. We've put ourselves in quite a good position as well in the top 4 as well. I know we have some teams behind us with a game in hand, or one with possibly 2, but I still think the results have been working in our favour around us. We haven't been playing, and thankfully West Ham have dropped points thanks to that comeback after getting off to such a good start. So again, it helps that the results around us are working in our favour. The fact that we've managed to get ourselves back into that position, considering where Frank Lampard left us, and it looked dead and gone at that point. I'm not gonna lie, it just looked too far considering how close it was and how many other teams were still in there, were still competing at that point. But fair play, Tuchel's come in, and what is that? It's 14 games undefeated. We've put ourselves in a really good position in the Premier League. We're in 4th place.
Yeah, you're 4th. You're comfortably there now.
Well, yeah, 2 points ahead West. It's looking good. And our next run of fixtures as well looks quite winnable as well. So we should aim to try and get as close to maximum points as well. So I think the route to the Champions League, I'm not saying we're going to win it. Definitely not. There's still some great teams in there as well. But the route that we got and the draw, it does look favourable. I do think we have it in us to beat Porto. I think we can progress past Porto. I think this is not the same Real Madrid team, not the same Liverpool team, no matter who emerges the winner out of that tie. I think we can possibly take both of them on. And I think Tuchel's intelligent enough to possibly just get us there to the final, and
out with them.
Maybe that we come up against a Bayern or a Man City, depending on the other side. But in a one-legged tie final, you never know what might happen, and
can happen. Yeah, no, you never know. We've seen some obviously crazy finals over the years, and like what Rach said, the best team doesn't always win the Champions League. Whenever Liverpool have won it, they've never even been champions of their domestic league. Do you know what I mean? So anyway, we'll move on from that. So let's have some fun now, though, people, because Arsenal today was a really good game, really fun game. Arsenal, you got a comment here from Dash El Jefe. Will bring home the Euro.
Take him seriously, man. I can't take that serious because that's the thing. Like, yeah, I can't take that seriously. Arsenal to win the Europa, that's a joke in itself. That's the biggest joke ever. There's no way they're gonna win it. There's no way.
Performance, bro.
Yeah.
You know what? If you speak to Dash, he probably will say he genuinely believes that Arsenal could go on and win the Europa League. And you know what? They obviously they fought back from 3-0 down today. So what are we saying, people? Are we saying that's a great point or still 2 points dropped? How would we spin it, Rach? What do you think on that result today?
From Arsenal's point of view, I think
from Arsenal.
I think it's a point gained. They were 3-0 down, and to be honest, I didn't expect them to go there and just beat West Ham anyway. West Ham were difficult to beat this season, and Arsenal aren't the greatest at attacking, to be honest with you, and creating chances. So I think they should be happy with the point. I don't think they expected to go there and just, get an easy win or anything. The fact they even got a point was a miracle in itself.
They did. Some thought they was going to go there and get a win. This gentleman here, Rach, his name is Jason Alexander. He thought that he's there putting up, because the form that West Ham have been on for the last few years against Arsenal has actually been quite shocking. They've not won in like 15, 20 games or something. So he was confident. But yeah, I don't know what it is.
Can I answer that question that Jason asked me, why I don't believe they're going to win it? Arsenal are not a good team, and today shows that, because like West Ham, on the strength of the season, West Ham were expected to beat Arsenal, and the first half shows that they were all over them. Second half, Arsenal came back, which is fair enough, but for Arsenal to be anywhere near decent, they should be beating the teams that are better than them and going into some sort of run of momentum. They didn't do that. They lost against Olympiacos the other day. I know they went through, but they still lost. Let's be real, innit? And they just aren't good enough to win games when it's crunch time. And they're going to end up, they're going to come a proper when they come play a good team. So that's why I don't believe they're going to win, Jay. Your front line is a shambles. Aubameyang hasn't scored in God knows how long. Lacazette isn't really that good. Saka's been carrying you guys. Martinelli, the guy that you lot said was amazing last year, is a ghost. He's missing. Pepe is rubbish. Willian is a ghost. I could go on and on all day. But you're just not good enough. So that's why you won't win it.
Fire in the booth. Pat is firing, boy. Lambs, what's your thoughts on Arsenal? Because we said that it's a point gained, so they can be happy now with the point. But they're still, or they're in 9th position now, so they've moved up from 10th to 9th.
Aston Villa have like 2 games on them or something, like 2 games in hand.
Aston Villa got a couple games still.
No, it's now just 1 game that they've got on Arsenal. But if they do win that, then they do go above Arsenal. Yeah.
Right.
That's true. Arsenal are Arsenal, to be honest. Like, I mean, people get onto Spurs about being like absolute bottle jobs, but are Arsenal any different, really and truly? Like, when it comes down to it, I mean, the European final that they actually got to, they bottled it. What happened with Olympiacos last year, they bottled it. I mean, it's just the personnel in their squad, like the decisions that are being made, like why Willian, David Luiz, Xhaka, Rob Holding, these are all players that are not good enough. These are all deadwood players that have been in their team for years and years. I mean, Lacazette is as good as Martial, which means he's not that great. Again, he's another one of those overhyped strikers. I feel like he's stepped up. He's a little bit better this season, because last season he had an issue. Like he was struggling to kind of score in the beginning. But but he stepped up. But the fact that he stepped up and they're what, 9th, 10th, and they've been floating around mid-table. I mean, this is an Arsenal side that's been constantly in the decline for years and years and years and years. It used to be top 4 used to be their ambitions. They're talking about getting back into the Champions League. Why? Why do you want to get back into the Champions League? Do you know what teams that there are in the Champions League? They will get absolutely slapped. It will be another 10-2 on aggregate pending, honestly, because they don't have the players. There's so many people in their squad that are not good enough. That they don't spend money. They don't invest in the right players. Even over the summer transfer window, it's clear they needed a creative attacking midfielder and they needed a holding DM. They got the job half done. Why? And then they went on that run, literally, where they just lost like every single game. They were drawing or losing. They just went on that run, and everyone's just like, "Oh, why is it so poor?" And it's like, it's obvious. There's nobody there to create chances. And it was only really until they came up against us, the game with us, they thought, okay, let's actually play a creative attacking midfielder in Emil Smith-Rowe. They started with Gabriel Martinelli, and suddenly they were creating chances, and that's why they turned up and they completely destroyed us. But we don't really need to get into that, because in the long run it doesn't matter anyway, because look at where we are and look at where they are.
Well, this is what I was gonna say, because we've got this here, from Dash. We still won a trophy last season, and I think this goes back to a conversation that I was having on I think it was Usman's show, that winning trophies is all well and good and stuff, but like, Rach, would you be happy now if we won a trophy this season and then we ended up where Arsenal are next season? Would you be happy with that because we've won a trophy now?
No.
Straight no. Straight no. And Pat, like, for yourselves, obviously you don't want to win trophies and stuff, but like, surely progression and like, they're in 9th position. They are firmly a mid-table team now.
The thing is, the comments are acting like Lambs and I are talking reckless, but we're not. Everything we're saying is factual, and it's the truth. There's no way Arsenal are good enough to win the Europa League. I'm sorry. And going off today's performance and even last week's performance, it's not good enough. Yes, you came back from 3-0 down, but imagine going 3-0 down to West Ham. No disrespect, that shouldn't be happening. Do you know what I mean? Especially if you're a decent team. And in the Europa League, there are better teams than West Ham that are still left in that competition. So, yeah, of course, in cup competition, football, anything can happen. But the reality is I can't see them winning it. I really can't.
Okay.
They have a really bad European record as well. They don't really tend to, they don't won a European trophy for a reason. So they don't tend to do well in European competitions. And that's the only competition they have left. And it's almost kind of like they're putting all their eggs in that basket. And Arsenal being Arsenal, I don't think that's a safe bet to make, to be honest.
No, I hear that.
And saying we gave away a 3-0 lead, but I'm not out here saying that we're going to win X, Y, and Z. This is the thing. Like, we're just talking about Arsenal and why we don't believe it. It doesn't matter about Tottenham in this regards. We're talking about Arsenal, and people are taking things too personally, but that's what it is, isn't it? You've just got to be honest and talk about the game. Everything we're saying, there's no malice in it. We're just calling it for what it is.
Yeah.
But honestly, guys, I would be really upset if I supported a mid-table club too.
You know what? It's getting to the point. Look, Arsenal are, Arsenal fans are a funny bunch, but the reality.
I feel sorry for them, because with if United didn't have the global commercial success that they have, we'd be just like Arsenal. I'm not gonna lie, like, the way we are run is just as bad as how Arsenal are run. We're just a bigger club.
It's not.
No, we are poorly
run. We have a really similar issue, actually. Like, the Arsenal board and United board is kind of running the same way. The only thing is Manchester United were just more ambitious. So, there was a lot more. They had a lot more time before they started to see the damage being done, and they only started.
We have a lot more money.
That in the last few years or so, like, the real damage of that. That's why Sir Alex was like, I'm out of here because I know what these owners are about. But the board owners are it's very similar. They really don't care about the club. Whereas if you look at Chelsea's owners, Manchester City's owners, They love the club. They care about their club. That's why they invest whatever they need.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they
that's a good
they
point.
firmly they proper want to win trophies in it. That's clear. I think what why Man United are still like not where Arsenal are is because Man United was still like light years ahead of Arsenal in terms of stature and in terms of trophies and winnings and everything. Like where we were, we've fallen down enough. Do you know what I'm saying? But to then fall into being a mid-table team is probably just a stretch too far for the resources that we have, definitely. But it could well happen. Do you know what I'm saying? Because we ain't got the greatest manager. But what does baffle me is I was thinking to myself that Arsenal are now a mid-table team. Last year they were at least 6th to 8th type of team, but yet the Arsenal fans are still happy with the progress being made under Arteta, and it does confuse me a little bit. What do you, Rach? What do you make of that with in terms of the progress that they're making under Arteta? Do you think that they're making progress like some of them believe that they are? Because I know you look at things from a certain perspective with regards to, you know, how things are actually run within the club and players and everything like that. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, they finished a worse. Well, they're finishing in a worse position potentially. So in terms of league position, no, they're not making much progress because all it's showing is there's a lack of consistency. Just because you go deep into a cup doesn't mean that you're good enough to make top four next season. The league position is pretty bad, and it shows a lack of quality in their squad. Maybe Arteta's made a few mistakes as well. I don't really watch Arsenal games that often to know anything like that. But in terms of progress, no. I think if they finished 10th this season, I mean, where did they finish last season? 8th.
I'm pretty sure it was 8th.
Right. So if you finish 8th one season and 10th the next season, that's not progress to me. They won the FA Cup last season. They may win the Europa League. I understand them wanting to get Champions League football, and that will be massive for them. But if they go into the Champions League for next season, are they going to put the investment into the squad required to actually progress them? If not, then winning the Europa League doesn't really mean anything on the long term. It's a nice day out, and it gives you something to celebrate. But it's that's what I view with like us as well. Us winning the Europa League, if we don't invest in the summer, it doesn't mean anything to me.
Facts.
It's just the Europa League. I care about the Premier League and the Champions League. Winning the Europa League is just a nice bit of celebration for a few hours and a couple of days after, but it doesn't.
To keep the haters off our back.
And really and truly, because you guys know that you should have been in the Champions League, the fact that you are in the Europa League, this is a chance for Ollie and Manchester United to like win it. You should win it. Your favourites.
We should, and that's why, like last season when we finished third, I was actually really happy and it wasn't because we finished third, but I thought that we would kick on from that.
Yeah.
In terms of signings in the summer, I thought that was basically what we needed. We needed a top 4 finish to get Sancho. So I thought as soon as we get that, we'll get him over the line, other players, and it just never materialized. But yeah, man, look, Arsenal fans in the comments. Dash, you said no one is happy with how things are right now, but we are supporting the process. My question to that would just be, what process? That's just my question to that, because at the moment you're supporting the process, but it doesn't look like it's getting any better. You see little glimpses here, but as what Rach says, you're still very, very inconsistent. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see. But if you finish mid-table and finish all 10th this season, with the way the league is, that's a really poor season, man. It really is. Sorry we don't have any Arsenal fans on today to back your corner. We was meant to. He's flopped. So sorry, Dash and Jason. But you lot are putting up a good fight in the comments anyway.
Did you know that also no squad has received, no Arsenal squad has received this many red cards in a season than they have under Mikel Arteta as well. So I'm not really too sure how the squad has improved, because they never used to be getting red cards like this, like recklessly like that. So that's not an improvement.
Yeah, there seems to be some sort of, I don't know, man. Arsenal, they're good one week, like they can turn up in the North London derby, and then the week after they can just be a bit all over the place. But yeah, man, we'll move on to the other side of North London. to Pat. Pat, how we've seen some memes of you flying around on the internet. We saw your in-depth analysis of where Spurs are. On a more positive note, you got a win today, 2-0. So what was your thoughts on the game today?
It was good to bounce back. The first half wasn't pretty, but we got the goal against the run of play, dare I say it. But Lucas Moura looked really good. He's probably been our best player over the last couple of weeks.
Has he, yeah?
Yeah. I've always been critical of Moura. I don't really rate his first touch. Obviously, they say for a Brazilian, he's not got the greatest first touch. But he's always, the thing I'll give Moura is that he always plays at 100%, no matter what's going on around him. And yeah, he was stealing balls today, dribbling past players, just creating attacks by himself. He got an assist today, and yeah, he was just on it. So he looked good. And obviously, Kane tucked away a penalty. We were professional today. We didn't play great throughout the whole game, but we got the job done. Kept a clean sheet as well, and obviously that really helped us because we're now in 6, and we're 3 points behind Chelsea, a point or 2 behind West Ham. So all of a sudden, from a league perspective, it's not as bad as it was. But obviously, on the whole, it's been a shambolic season, and things aren't going great.
Well, it's I don't know, man. Jose Mourinho or Jose, I don't know. I keep calling him Jose. It was still a good win for you today. You can only beat what's in front of you. They're struggling without Grealish. You can definitely see if Grealish was playing, it could have been a different result today. But Lambs, what do you think is realistic targets now for Spurs come the end of the season? And do you think that Jose is gonna be there for much longer? Is he going to be there long term?
No, I don't think so. But I'm not really too sure because, again, Tottenham's owners board, and can they really afford to buy him out? There's a lot of work that kind of needs to be done because there's a lot of rumours flying about that potentially their best players are possibly on their way out the door because it's coming to that stage of their career where these are world-class players, arguably, and they deserve to be competing, like having a chance of winning stuff before the prime time of their career is over. And of course, one of those is Harry Kane, who is in his own right a phenomenal striker. But I do understand the frustrations, and over time, I've looked back and I've seen some of, Tottenham's rising stars, their players, and I'm thinking, like, year after year, they're out the door, they're selling them, and it's just like, that's kind of why Tottenham always remain with bottom jobs, because they can't really hang on to their best players. But I do understand, like Bale, Modric, they left because they wanted to win something.
Kyle Walker was another one in that.
Yeah, Kyle Walker. Sorry to Kieran Trippier doing bits at Atletico Madrid. But yeah, Kyle Walker at City, because it's time to move on. If you want to go to the next level, if you want to win stuff, then it's kind of clear that Tottenham's just not that club because of is it a mentality thing? Is it, you can't really sit here and say Jose Mourinho wasn't backed. He was backed more than Pochettino was. Pochettino wasn't. And I guess that's kind of why the whole dynamic kind of fell apart. And you think Pochettino was one of the, if you look back on it, ideally, he looks like one of the successful managers there at Tottenham. And you think maybe if they had backed him,
what he could have done. Yeah, maybe he could have been that manager, that first ever manager to take them to that next level. And it's just a shame, but we can't. It's clear to me that Jose Mourinho is done, right? He is done. I mean, the fact that me sitting here as a Chelsea fan, and Chelsea, we chase success, we thrive success. We see, we look up to City and see them as our rivals. Like, that's who we strive to be. That's where we want to be. And you see we've sacked Jose Mourinho twice. The fact that we, Chelsea, have sacked the manager twice, yes, we sacked him, we rehired him, and then we were like, no, we were right. And then we sacked him again. Suggests that he's finished, his time is done. He no longer has it. He doesn't have the minerals to be successful. And
that should be enough. And then even after leaving us, after going to Manchester United and that debacle, that should also be enough as well. But I guess because his CV does speak for himself, maybe they thought he could get you guys a trophy. I don't even think, because of the way the season has gone, Spurs fans will be happy if they win the Carabao Cup. I still think they want him gone. I still think there's a lot of changes that need to be made. I still don't think players like Harry Kane, him and Son will be happy with them, like just the Carabao Cup, you know. If that's the best that they can do. So it's weird because I see them finishing in the Europa League places. I think top four. I think that might just be a bit too much for them in the end. I just don't think they have the mentality. I think the players, I think the relationship with the manager, I think is broken down as well. You can see there's a lot of tension there as well. And of course, the rumours now of Kane wanting out is just going to cause, I think, further discord in that camp. So I don't think it's going to be a happy end to the season for Spurs. Maybe a 6th or 7th place finish.
Okay. Rach, what's your take on the situation at Spurs? Because obviously, as a United fan, you've been through, the Jose saga at United. Do you see similarities to what's happening over there at Spurs at the moment? And also on top of that, what are your thoughts on the rumours of Kane wanting out?
So with Jose Mourinho, he's very much like Pep in the sense that he needs a lot of backing from his board. Now, at Man United, I'm sure he was sold a dream by Woodward because he's the biggest shit talker you'll ever meet, probably. But if you know that Spurs are not the kind of team to go out and spend major money on top targets, like quality players, I don't see how he can expect anything different to happen.
Yeah.
At Spurs, like I think he needed to go to a club that will actually back him so they can get the right kind of profile of player that he wants. Spurs were never going to do that. I thought the match was really bizarre to me. And the players that were there under Poch are not the kind of players that will play the Jose football. And you've seen that they've struggled with it. They can't defend properly. I know they had like great centre-backs beforehand, like Alderweireld and Vertonghen were fantastic together. Obviously, that's been broken up. So you need to build Jose a back four for starters. That's always been the thing with Jose. He's always built from the back. Tottenham's defense has been shambolic this season. Eric Dyer, I don't know how he gets games for you guys. I don't know what he's got on Jose, but I don't know. He shouldn't even be there. So you have to build from the back for Jose and then progress forward. They already had the front line. They had like Son and Kane. They could add one more person maybe, but they needed to build a back four for Jose and they didn't do it. Man United needed to do the same as well. He wanted a back four at Man United. He didn't get it and he struggled. But we know how Jose is. He needs backing just like Pep. I don't understand why he would go to Tottenham knowing that he wouldn't get the backing. Did he think he was going to pull out a miracle? It's a joke. He made a mistake with that one. As for Kane, he should be leaving Spurs now. I thought he should have left a couple seasons ago. Kudos to him for the loyalty. But he needs to go and win some trophies now because he's a fantastic striker and he deserves to win something major. I wouldn't be surprised if he went to Chelsea, to be honest.
You think, yeah? Interesting.
I don't think United are going to go for him, but Chelsea might.
I actually think if we fail to get Haaland somehow, Kane would actually suit our system because they are very similar type of strikers where they're just like goal poachers. And we do need somebody like that. And of course, you know, Kane is Premier League proven already. So it wouldn't.
Kane's link-up plays better than Haaland's, though.
It's true.
He has more to his game at the moment.
Be able to have that same partnership with some of our like midfield players, the same way he like has that telepathic communication with Son, because they still have, I think, arguably the best partnership in the Premier League.
It takes working on, isn't it, Pat? What are your thoughts on what has been said there about the Jose fit from the start, which is something that I questioned. I thought to myself, Jose, if he's coming into this job, he must be happy with the setup in terms of what he's going to get financial backing wise. But he did get backed though. He was able to bring in signings in the summer.
Yeah, he got backed. He did get backed, but then also it was a weird one because we all know we needed a quality centre back, a ball playing real centre back, and we were after Skriniar, and we were after Diaz, and we didn't get either of them. And lastminute.com, we ended up getting Joe Rodon. And I was like, hold on, that don't make no sense. Do you know what I mean? And I mean, Joe Rodon played today, but other than that, I think he's played 2 or 3 games max. He didn't even make the cut for the Europa League squad. So you can tell it wasn't a Jose signing. It was literally a cheap last-minute deal. So that just speaks volumes of where Levy is. I mean, I hate Daniel Levy. You guys might not know this, but I hate Daniel Levy with a passion. The guy's a joke. He's never backed our squad properly. He's handled things so badly from top to bottom. And I could go on all day. But yeah, so Jose, for me, it wasn't an ideal marriage, but it was a marriage of convenience. And at the time, when we needed somebody to take us across that line, and somebody who's a proven winner, somebody who, you know, has done it, been there, done it, he was the right guy at the right time. So I understood why we brought him in, but it's just the old Jose. And, you know, at first I was calling him a humble one. I thought that he knew this was his last chance, so he would change his philosophies. And
Lance has no composure.
Yeah, and but it's just it's the old Jose Mourinho. He's reverted back to his old ways, and unfortunately, we're suffering the brunt of it. So it's not worked. I want him gone in the summer, even if we win the League Cup or Carabao Cup, whatever it is, and even if we sneak top 4 or finish. I think we're finishing the top 6. I always said that. I don't think we finished top 4. I think it's too much. But I think we're finished in the top 6. And even if we win the Carabao Cup, I still want him gone. I'm not happy with it. It's just not worked out. He's not the right guy for us. And, you know, we say fair dues. Thank you very much. It just didn't work, man. But I thought this would be a different Jose Mourinho. I thought he knew it was his last chance saloon and he would change and try and adapt with the times. But you can see he hasn't done that. And with our centre-backs or our defence, you can't be the same guy he was at Chelsea or even United because we don't have that quality that you can build from. So it's been a shambles, man. It's not worked out. And, yeah, it's time to go, man.
What do you think now about the Kane? Because these lot in the comments are talking about Kane wants out. The Kane rumors is that he's going to leave. Like, what do you think? There's any truth to this?
This is the thing. This is the first. Ornstein said today that Harry Kane wants to leave, but he would never rock the boat, and he knows he's got 3 years on his contract. Blah blah blah. So I don't know. It's the first I'm hearing of it. Of course, Harry Kane is a phenomenal striker. He's a world-class player, one of the best in the world. So I understand if he wants to move on because Tottenham haven't matched his ambition. So I'd understand it. But will it happen? I don't think it will happen this year because of COVID anyway, and because teams don't have the funding and the backing they usually would. But maybe if things get back to normal next year and this team's still declining, then yeah, I can see him going. But I don't think it'll be this year. I really don't.
So I've just checked. He's 27 at the moment. So that means he's going to be 28 in July. It's similar to what I say when I talk about Paul Pogba in that, you know, these are now coming to your years where these are your prime years. You know what I mean? You're hitting your prime. And, you know, in football, these, you know, things can go really quickly. So he's not got long left at the top. Do you know what I mean? In chances to win trophies. So there could really be a distinct chance that he could leave. But with the Jose Mourinho one, it's really sticky because you're going to have to pay him some dough to come out of that contract. And I don't see Levy. You know, Levy is a shrewd businessman.
Yeah.
I don't see Levy doing that.
Allegedly, there's a break clause in his contract where in the summer we can part ways for a significant cut fee.
Is it?
Reduced fee, yeah. And he'll be on gardening leave like we did with Poch until he gets his next job. So over the last couple of weeks, I've seen that come out. And I was thinking, why would Levy, who's meant to be a fantastic negotiator, not put something in there? Like, he can't be that. We all know Levy's been in love with Jose Mourinho from day one. He's always wanted him at Tottenham. But back then, we could never attract him. We weren't good enough or big enough. Obviously, Jose's kind of messed up. Tottenham have definitely been on the rise under recent years. So now Jose would look at it and come to us as he did. So I was surprised when I was hearing all these things where we'd have to pay him the full 15 million and all of this. Allegedly, there is a break clause in there. So I hope they activate that in the summer and we get in a younger, more dynamic manager that can actually play football on the front foot and actually utilize the players we have.
Fair enough.
Who
All right.
would you want as a manager? Sorry.
Nagelsmann.
Makes sense.
Yeah, he's the only guy that I see that is really available. He's already put the feelers out and said he would love to come to London. He wants to come to the Prem. Yeah, he pretty much would be the right guy. I would have said, what's his name? I can't remember his name. It skipped my mind. But he's going to be the new Dortmund manager, so he's off the card. So Nagelsmann for me, man, plays great football. He kind of works with a similar. No, well, not in terms of the team that he has. They're not financially backed massively, and he still does a great job and he gets the best out of his players. And he's a fantastic tactician as well. So he would be a perfect fit for me.
Yeah, I know a lot of United fans.
Philosophy as say like Spurs, Arsenal board kind of do like limited budget.
Yeah, so he
stuff like developing players and stuff like that, because then eventually Leipzig kind of go on to like sell their best prospects and players. I mean, like Upamecano is going to buy Bayern. Timo Werner came to us and whatnot, and the fact that I think he got them promoted as well, Nagelsmann. So I think Tottenham would be a really good club for him as well.
It'd be interesting stuff, man. See what happens there. So before we wrap up, if we was to just touch on a few other teams like your Newcastles, do you not think then that Newcastle can get relegated or not? Well, we all know they can get relegated. Do we think that they will get relegated this season? Do we think that Fulham are going to have enough to push above them? They are currently 2 points behind Newcastle, but they've played a game more than Newcastle at the moment. Rachel, what's your thoughts on that? Newcastle relegation.
I think they're going to go down, to be honest with you. The way they play is horrible. It doesn't look like honestly, it doesn't even look like there's any sort of hope within the players to actually stay up. And even though they're not actually in the relegation zone at the moment, it's like they've already given up, like they're, in Sheffield United's position. It's a joke. Like, how many points ahead were they a few months back? Like, it's just the decline's been disgusting. I can't believe what I see when I look at that table. Honestly, it's so bad.
I agree. Man. Looking so bad.
Rams keeps laughing. It's making me laugh. Sorry.
You look laugh away, man. It's good to laugh. We're having fun. We're having fun on the Sunday night, man.
He just starts laughing, and then I'm just.
They're playing with shackles on already, and they look like they're literally. Like, I mean, they've got some good players in that team, but they're all just. Yeah, they look so bad. Steve Bruce is a crap manager. He's got nothing about him. There's no tactics. There's no philosophy. There's no fight in those guys. They're not even up for it anymore. So I can't see them staying up. At least with Scott Parker, you see something about them. You see something about that team. You've got Lookman in that team. You've got players that are actually trying to do something. And even if Fulham lose a game, they're going down with a fight. Newcastle are just pretty much whimpering out of every game, man. It's really bad.
It looks like they're already done. Honestly, so sad.
We've got a comment here saying Newcastle are a Premiership team, where I look at Fulham as a Championship team, and I'm a bit shocked at that comment, because if I'm honest, if I was to look at them both playing, I would say that Fulham look like the Premiership team, and Newcastle look like the Championship team. Lambs, what's your thoughts on Newcastle potentially going down?
Yeah, it's a shame, because I feel really sorry for Kendall. That's the only reason why I feel bad, because I just look so sad lately. I just
she looks so sad lately.
I can't make her team play better, and Rachel just summed it up perfectly.
But what about this comment here from Daniel, where he says Fulham just find a way to lose all of the time, which is true. That's obviously a reason why they are in the bottom three. And once Wilson is back, Newcastle will stay up, because losing Wilson was a big blow for them. So when he is back, do you think that he could give them? I don't know when he is back, by the way, Daniel. I don't know if you can share that, Daniel, in the comments. I don't know if any of my
inspire confidence for the rest of the squad. Like, can he make that much of a difference? I feel like even though Fulham, they do kind of shoot themselves in the foot sometimes, what I see with them is fighting spirit. And Scotty Parker, given what he's been given to work with as well, the resources, it's not been much, and I think he's done a really, really good job. Given that fact, Fulham, they have a similar issue to Brighton, where they just don't take their chances as well, and I think that's probably what's caused them to like miss out on a few results. Like the game that we beat them in 1-0, they probably should have won that game, to be honest.
They need a striker.
Yeah, they shot themselves in the foot by missing the chance earlier, and then getting the red card, and then we just happened to score. We capitalized on the fact that they were a man down. Before that, we were on the ropes, and we had that chance. So, but with Newcastle, literally what Rachel and Patrick said, they literally look like they've given up, like they don't care, like they are done. They raise the white flag of surrender, and it literally feels like for them, like they're in Sheffield United's position, like it's already done and dusted. And it's a shame, because that's the kind of attitude that probably will end up getting you relegated, and I don't see that in Fulham. That's why I think Fulham will make it.
Okay, fair enough.
But
I don't know.
Before you go on, because I know the comment said Fulham always find their way to lose, but their form in recent weeks has been good. Hence why they've bridged pushing so much. So I don't agree with that comment. I would have said before, but not now. No. And even when they have lost games, they've given teams a good fight. So if things continue, I think Fulham will pull it off.
Yeah. Fair. I think they will as well, because I watched the way, and I think they play better football, and obviously they got exciting players, or some exciting players. And in any of those teams, when you're looking at relegation teams, it's always about which team can score goals, isn't it? And we know both of them struggle, but I do know you've got a player in Lookman who's very, very, he can be the difference. You know what I mean? He can create a moment of magic. Whereas you're looking at Newcastle team, and I just don't see it. But if they did have a Wilson playing, then he could definitely help, man. But I don't know if he's out for the season. I don't know if anyone's able to confirm that when he is meant to be back. If someone is able to confirm, please let us know. Go on. Oh, sorry.
That'll be the happiest day of Kendall's life.
What, when Wilson?
I don't know why he doesn't, to be honest.
When Bruce just decides to leave.
Yeah.
Finally.
What, Bruce?
Yeah. I think all Newcastle fans
he's stealing a living.
Steve Bruce, he's exactly the reason why the football they're playing is so ugly to watch.
Yeah. What are we saying then? Actually, let me get your opinion, Rach, on Liverpool. Because we haven't heard your opinion on Liverpool. This is obviously your first time when everyone's a pundit. What's your position on Liverpool this season? And the fall from grace that we've seen?
Liverpool's issues are there's so many.
Is it just because of their centre backs?
No, I think that does play a major part. I think there are so many issues. I think Klopp failed to adapt a little bit, and he was very stubborn with playing his midfielders in defence, even though he had defenders available. Like keeping Henderson and Fabinho there when he brought two centre backs in. He should have at least bedded one of them in and then put Henderson back in midfield at least. Obviously the front three have been a joke as well this season. I know Salah's been scoring goals, but when you look at his performances, he's actually been a passenger in most of his games that he's played. Like he hasn't done much else. He doesn't create much. But he is scoring goals at least for them. And then obviously Thiago hasn't settled in as well as he probably should have. And then there's the summer transfer business. For me, I was really surprised at Liverpool. Like having won the Premier League and then in the Champions League the season before, you'd think they would have invested properly into the squad.
Yeah.
And they haven't done that. So once they got the injuries, they ended up having a bit of a crisis with it. So I think it's not just the injuries, but it's a lot of things. And this season they've been pretty poor, to be honest with you. But I don't feel sorry for them. I don't like them, so.
Of course not. No, we don't feel sorry for them at all, boy. No, I just wanted to get your thoughts because I haven't heard your thoughts on Liverpool before. We've had many Liverpool debates up on this channel, on this platform. We didn't really speak about West Ham before. How good has Jesse Lingard been, Pat? Do you think going there? We obviously had West Ham Jase on last week who was saying give Lingard to the end of the season to give him an end of season review. Obviously, we saw him score a goal again today, get an assist. What's your thoughts on Lingard today?
he's been a breath of fresh air, man. And he's literally, West Ham were doing really well, but he's come in and he's like reinvigorated them and given them a new lease of life and almost like a second wind. I think he was a difference against us when they beat us 2-1. Obviously them getting the goal literally as the half kicked off, that gave them enough to hang on to it. In our game. And then today, I know they didn't win the game, but again, he looked great. He got that goal that he scored was sick. It was mental. Just literally one touch, boom. That left the keeper stranded. And then the quick thinking from the free kick to just play it into Bowen's path, and then he did the rest. He's been great. So I don't really understand the whole wait to the end of the season. You can judge what you're seeing now, right? And from what we've seen, he's been good. He's been fantastic. And you got to imagine as well, he wasn't playing for United, innit? He played 1 or 2 games, maybe, if that. And the fact that he's kept himself in such great shape, he's playing pretty much 90 minutes every match, and he hasn't looked leggy or he hasn't looked out of it. He's hit the ground running, and to be fair, it's a fantastic move for West Ham to get him, and I'm sure they probably want to sign him. And it'll be interesting to see if he now tries to fight for his place at Man United next year, or if he says, you know what, I'm happy with being at West Ham and moves there. It'll be interesting to see what his mentality on it is.
I think him and United are done now. I think he needs to move on now and to play regular football and sort of have less pressure on him than what he would have at United. Do you think something similar then to Dele Alli? Because I always said Dele Alli would end up like Jesse Lingard, and obviously we've seen Lingard just needs to be able to play with a bit of freedom. And as you said, we've seen him now at West Ham. He's like a new lease of life. Do you think that Dele Alli could benefit from a loan move away from Spurs, or even a permanent move away from Spurs to reunite his career?
I think Dele Alli will try and hold out to see if Jose goes, because if Jose goes, the next manager who comes in will probably give Dele Alli a chance, and they'll probably try and integrate him back into the team. But if Jose's there next year, then I think Dele should push for a move. And obviously, there's a lot of talks about him potentially going to PSG and linking back up with Poch. But I think, I think that would make sense, because as you can see, the Lingard one is a perfect example of what can happen when you move to a new, pastures green, have a coach or manager that believes in you, and and then you can play some football. So if Jose is still here next season, then I think Dele should go out on loan or try and get a move away. And the thing is, I love Dele. He's one of my favorite players, but with Jose around, it's just not working, is it? So
I hear you, man. I hear you. And obviously, there's no point talking about Man City. Maybe it's a bit disrespectful, but Man City are just walking the league. But let's talk about Man City, actually. Lambs, unmute your mic, Lambs. Do you think that Man City can win the quadruple? Do you think it's possible that can happen? I messaged my mate yesterday and I said that for the first time, I think that our treble is under threat. I really do genuinely believe that our treble is now under threat of being matched by City. Do you think that they can do it? Nah. Serious?
No way. Nah, they wouldn't. To achieve a quadruple, I'm not gonna lie, they're probably one of the teams that look like they can come close to doing it, but it's a lot to maintain, and this has been a real topsy-turvy season. And City have been immense. They've been amazing, but they still have some issues as well. Like, let's not lie. They are going to fall short. They are going to have their mentality blocks as usual when it comes down to it. They're not going to win all of these trophies. They might win a couple of them. There's one that they're definitely going to win for sure. But there's a lot of tough games they need to get past as well. Like, look at some of the teams that they've drawn in the Champions League. They could potentially come up against, even if they do beat Borussia Dortmund. They've drawn us in the FA Cup. That's not going to be an easy game at Wembley. It's still tough. Even the final against Tottenham, you never know what can happen. It's a final. You never know what can happen, even though they are more likely favourites for that as well. The Premier League is done and dusted. It's theirs. They probably could end up winning the Carabao Cup as well, but the Champions League, FA Cup, there's some difficult teams in front of them, and we know when it comes to finals, semi-finals, Pep does kind of get this pressure, this mentality block. He is known for it as well, quite famously so in the Champions League quarter-final stage. So they are not going to win all 4 trophies. No way.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What do you think, Rach? Do you think that our treble is under threat? Do you think it's possible that they could win the Champions League, Premier League, FA Cup treble?
Well, it's possible, but I don't think they will. I think they're favourites for the Champions League, personally. But do I think they're going to win all those trophies? Probably not. Every season since Pep Guardiola's been there, they've said this. Man City going to win the quadruple or whatever. And they never do. Like, it's just the same thing. You know what the media is like. They always overhype Manchester City to the point like they're the best team ever created. But no, I don't think they'll win it. All of them anyway. I think they'll win the Prem, obviously. Maybe the Champions League. But I have a sneaky feeling that Jose Mourinho is just going to beat him in the final of the Carabao Cup anyway. I do. I think it's just going to be one of those Jose Mourinho classics. Do you know what I mean? I think that's what's going to happen in the final of that. And the FA Cup, I think Chelsea will probably end up winning it.
Yeah, I said this ages ago. From when Spurs got that bye against against Leyton Orient, I said, yeah, you lot are gonna Spurs. This is Spurs' trophy, man. You lot are getting buys, like say this is Sunday League football. What do you reckon, Pat? Do you think that they can win the quadruple? I don't think it's possible, but the treble, I'm thinking, you know what? There seems like there's a bit of an aura about them this year. Like they've not had no striker really. Like all of those seasons before, Aguero's been there, innit? But even without Aguero this year, with Jesus coming in and doing his bit every now and again, even when he's not playing, they've still been battering teams. No Kevin De Bruyne, Gundogan's just come in and just been doing a madness. Then you can bring in Mahrez on a situation. He can do a madness. Sterling can come in and do it. There's just something about them. And what do you reckon? What do you reckon, Pat?
Yeah, I mean, their team's sick. The quality that they have literally in every position is crazy. And the fact they can interchange and, like you said, play a false 9, not play a striker, all of that, it's a joke. But to do the quadruple, nah, I can't see it. I still think I would say Chelsea in the Champions League would probably go further than them because they have the pedigree and they've done it before. And, it gets to that level where it's pretty much ingrained in the club and sometimes the mentality comes through no matter who's in charge. And also with Pep, he likes to tinker too much in big games. And I think that comes at a detriment and can cost him. And we've seen him do it before in semi-finals and quarter-finals and obviously finals as well. And then... Chelsea they've got Chelsea in the FA Cup. That's going to be tough. And in the Champions League, you've still got Barcelona. No, not Barcelona. You've still got Bayern Munich in there, who for me are the favourites. People keep forgetting about them, but they're still around. And obviously Chelsea is still there as well. I can't see them doing a quadruple. Maybe a double. I think they do a double at best. I don't know what cup it will be. I can't see them doing a treble or a quadruple. No.
Fair enough. Okay, so it's interesting. Nobody doesn't really think they're going to go on to do the madness, and to do the madness is very hard. You know what I'm saying? That's why no one is done.
A striker, so if they get that, then possibly that could be a possibility.
Yeah. I hear that, and I think that could maybe, when we're talking about the Champions League and stuff, maybe that will be something that lets them down, the fact that they haven't got that killer anymore. But I do believe they're gonna go and invest, and they're gonna do a madness in the summer. And that's why next season is going to be very interesting, because you will expect certain teams to be better next season. And for Man United and Spurs, we need to be on our P's and Q's, because we don't want to be falling down and ending up like Arsenal. But you know what? We're gonna wrap it up there, because I know that Rach she's not done, people. She's gonna be streaming again in like an hour's time. So we got to end it here and give people some rest and that before they can go back to work. But Rach, please let everybody know. First of all, it's been a pleasure having you on. I'd love to have you on again many more times. But yeah, let everybody know where they can find you, please.
I'm The Devil's Avocado on Twitter, and you can find me on the First 11 YouTube channel.
Brilliant. So I'll get the details as always, people, and put that in the description. The lovely lambs, again, a pleasure having you on. Thank you very much for joining us. Where can they find you? Please let everybody know.
Yeah, again, thank you for having me. Always like coming back here. Great shows always. You can find me on the Midnight Vibe show on the Football Terrace. I won't be on tonight, but I will be watching. You can find me on Gina TV, on Monsters channel, Bits and Bob's channel. Basically here, there, and everywhere, really. But on socials, I'm on Instagram only, so that's my handle, Alami Ahmed.
Yes. And shout out to you all in the comments. Thank you very much. It's been a very interactive show today. The ladies have ruffled a few feathers. I don't know if you lot have been seeing the comments. You ruffled some feathers today, boy, especially the Arsenal boys. But no, it's all fun and games, people. It's all fun and games. But no, seriously, second time Lambs has been on. It's been a pleasure having you on. Rach, it's been an absolute pleasure. And as I said, I'd love to have you both on again. But last but not least, Pat, where can they find you, my G?
I think everyone should know me by now if they're tuning into the news, innit? So, yeah, it's Patrick Tyrant on Twitter, Patrick Tyrant, all one word. And obviously, I'm always on here as well, so you can find me on here, whenever I'm on here. So, yeah, that's it, man. That's it.
Now, shout out to Pat as well. Like, obviously, I wasn't around for a couple of weeks, and Pat kept the show going. So, Pat, I did give you a shout out last week, but as you're here, just to let you know, thank you very much. I appreciate you, my guy. And also that little meme that's going around at the moment.
Oh, man, yeah.
I need to find it.
Yeah, I'll tag you in it. That was quite funny. But Pat did a video. He was just being his honest self about Spurs at the moment, you know. And look, Dash said that you've been wrapped up in cotton wool today. The reality of the situation is you've had some heat up on this channel, boy. Even after you lot have won games, you've come up here thinking that your chest is big, and then you've just got beat down. So
I was on there with Lambs and Lawrence. And you lot killed me, and I was like, "Right, we've been on a winning streak." Good. Many a time on there, man. Trust me. And to be fair, we won today, innit? I know things haven't been bad. I've been bad, but we did win today. So cut me a little bit of slack, please.
That's it, man. That's it, man. And anyway, those of you that are watching, you already know who I am, and you already know where to find me. But you know what? This has been a great show. This is Everyone's a Pundit, episode 67. These were my pundits. Until next week, we are out, people. Bless. Thank you all for watching and listening. Bless, bless, bless.